Hey everyone, it's Creative Heart with Brooke, and I think, do I not have I don't think I have it on bright, but I think I can't change it now that I'm on, but I think it'll be okay. Let me see if I open up my window over here, that'll make it brighter. I've been keeping my blinds and curtains pulled because it's been so hot and it keeps it cooler in the house. So once you come on, let me know you're on here. I'm just waiting for the event to start and then get shared into the group. So let me get to my page here. I do refresh. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, hello Ruby. You're the first one I see. Good morning. Let's see. I'm just on just 5 minutes earlier, but I'm gonna see if I may have to get someone to share me in, or I can share myself in. But I'll just wait before we get started. I do have a Dollar Tree craft for you all this morning, because that is our theme for today, was Dollar Tree or Dollar General. I went yesterday to get some things that I needed, and they had some things, and then some things they were out of. So I kind of pulled out some things that I had from previous Dollar Tree trips from last year. So we're going to use some of those. Willow had my little pipe cleaners twisting them, so I'm going to get them straightened back up. But it is already 81 degrees here in Georgia, and it's been hot everywhere. We went during 4th of July, Thursday of last week, we went up to Chattanooga, Tennessee to take Willow to the aquarium and to Rock City for the first time. So it's a good thing we did Rock City first, because it was so hot and it was very crowded, you know, because it was a holiday week. So we're gonna probably go back in the fall when it's cooler and we can spend some more time at Rock City, because it was just so many people there, and like I said, it was so hot that you really couldn't stand around and kind of look at everything because it was just so hot. But now it's almost time for school to get started. So I got Willow's school supplies list. Avery is already doing band camp this week. He just left to go pick up his girlfriend. She volunteers at the animal shelter to walk the dog. So today I think was her first day doing it. So she is he's actually on his way now to go take her for that. Let me check real quick to see if I'm shared in. I'm only seeing Ruby, but it says there's several people on. I think Facebook is just being a little crazy. Okay. Let me refresh here. I am on 2 minutes early. There we are. So I'm in here. Okay, there we go. Just double check in here. Let me go back to my page. All right, yep, so I'm only seeing Ruby. There we go. All right, let me get my camera thing adjusted there. It wants to fall down on me. All right, did anybody do anything exciting for the 4th of July or even that week? Did you go on vacation? I know a lot of people went to the beach. A lot of people were just doing different things that week. Like I said, we went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to the aquarium, and to Rock City, and it was very hot, like I said. Hot, hot, hot. Yeah, all I see is you, but I see, okay, so at the top it's showing me more. All right, hey Teresa, I see her. Good morning. I don't know. Facebook, you know, it's just, it does its own little thing. So, anyways. Alrighty, so it is 10 o'clock, so I am going to get started. Welcome in, everyone. We are doing the Dollar General, Dollar Tree Upcycle, or Crafter's Choice. So, like I said, I'm doing a Dollar Tree Upcycle. It says Stacy's birthday bash, so it says join us today for creative projects, beautiful inspiration, and talented markers during our Dollar General and Dollar Tree Upcycle event hosted by the Four Rustic Hearts. I am Brooke with Creative Heart with Brooke, and up after me is going to be Eden with Cultivating Keepsakes. And then you'll see in the top description, you'll see the group event group link there. You can join there. So please show our amazing creators some love throughout the day by liking, commenting, and sharing each creator's live. Your support means the world to all of us, and it just helps our creative community continue to grow. You can invite your friends, grab your favorite drink, and spend the day crafting with us. We can't wait to see you. So we are glad that you all are here. I'm going to do the lineup really quick. We'll go through the whole lineup for today. So again, I'm on at 10. Cultivating Keepsakes is on at 11. That's with Eden. 12 o'clock is Donna's Crafts, which, let's see. I think Donna's may be switching times, but as of right now, she's on at 12. But I'm sure there'll be I did see in the chat that she was asking if she could change times with someone, but as of right now, she's on at 12. 1 o'clock is Art by Shirley Fannin. 2 o'clock is Tracy's Crafts. 3 p.m. is Vintage Grace Decor by Stacy. 4 is Carrie's Wooden Corner. At 5 o'clock is Ginger's Creations. 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock is Crafty Kitty by Jackie. 7 is Creating with Love and Grace by Heather. 8 o'clock is Pumpkins Crafty Creations Mandy. 9 o'clock is Moody Cow Cottage with Lindsay. And 10 o'clock is I Gotta Have That by Denise. Alright, so that is the lineup for today as of right now, but make sure to keep checking in throughout the day. And if you can't watch live, you can always go back and watch replays. Let me refresh here. Alrighty. So today let me go up here and just make sure I didn't miss anyone coming on because it's being crazy. Alright, so I see Teresa, Ruby, okay. Stoner Creek Creations, Custom Wood Crafts, welcome in, good morning. Hello, Natalie James. Thank you for sprinkling. All right, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna back this up a little bit, and I guess it's not. I don't know why I didn't click the brightness on my thing, but I guess that's okay because I don't know how to switch it back. Hello, Pumpkins Crafted Creations. Thank you for getting me shared in. All right, so this was a vintage, or not vintage, a find at the Goodwill. I don't even know how much it was. It still has a little sticker here, but it's got the little kickstand thing here to hold it up. But we're gonna use this because we're gonna make a cute Frankenstein craft. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out some fall and Halloween. So some people have done Christmas in July, but I'm going ahead and doing some fall things. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint our Frankenstein. This was already white, so well, it's more like a cream, but we're gonna paint him green for his face, and then we're gonna do the little hair like he has, and it's gonna be really cute. You just have to hang in there and see how it turns out. So let me get my little Frisbee here. I use it for my, we got this at a parade. They were throwing out Frisbees, and I got it and brought it home and to use it for my paint tray. So my dogs don't really like to catch Frisbees. They like to, more like tennis balls. So, I'm just gonna use some green if I can get it open. Let me go back up here. I'm gonna mix this with a little bit of black just to make it a little darker. Put just like a tad of black in here. And look, so this is the first time I have seen this paint brand at the Dollar Tree. You may have seen this at yours, but mine has never had this one before. It's always had some different ones, but this is the brand, and I picked it up just to see how, you know, how good it is. But it's acrylic paint. It's the black. It says satin acrylic paint. I'm just going to use a little bit of this to mix some black in there, but I was out of black, and when I went yesterday, and I was like, hey, they have paint now. They've always had the, you know, tube paints, and then those paints that were in like the tall containers. So I saw these little ones, and I decided to try it out and see how well it does. So yeah, I wanted a little darker green, and then we're gonna lighten it up a little bit after I paint it, do some little highlighting of the lighter green for our Frankenstein. Let me just get it mixed up here. Let me add a little bit more of our green. Trying to get it the shade that I like here. They also had, in this same brand there, they also had metallic colors as well. So has any of you seen those at your Dollar Trees? Because that's the first time I've seen that actual paint brand. They had some neat things that they had put out. They had these new stencils. I didn't buy any because I don't really use the plastic stencils, but they had put out stencils. They also put more vinyl, that vinyl that's already cut that has designs and stuff like flowers, butterflies. They had that was new, I saw. They've started clearing the air dry clay, like in the little packs. They also have the foam now. And I did see yesterday they started carrying the broken glass in bags. So they're bringing out some new stuff at my Dollar Tree that I saw. So, all right. So I'm going to use this bigger brush, and the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to paint this with, whoops, with the green. I left my paintbrush. My container over there with the water in it. I'll have to go grab that in a minute. But we're gonna go ahead and paint this with our green and get this our base coat here for our Frankenstein. And I'm gonna leave this bottom part that has the little holder there. This was actually called a cookbook holder. So I'm not going to paint the stain part on our thing here. Willow has her speech today at 1:30, and I'm trying to see, so at her school, they have a speech therapist that comes and works with students that need speech, during school. So I reached out to them because as of right now, Willow goes twice a week at the one that's here close to our house. But I had already mentioned to them, back when we first started speech, that she would be attending preschool starting September the 8th. And right now, one day she goes at 12, and then today she goes at 1:30. And she'll be in school on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And I said, I'm teaching there, and I won't be able to get her here till after 2, because she goes from, her preschool hours for her are 9 to 1, but for me I have to be there at 8:30 to 2. So I said I really need something after 2 for her to come, if we're going to continue to come here for speech. And they said, well, we may not be able to accommodate a time for you. Your time right now is kind of set because of how the therapist's schedule is. And the therapist is only there on Tuesday and Thursdays. She used to be Tuesday, Wednesdays, but she changed her day to Thursdays. So now they're like, you may have to bring her in earlier, leave school early. And I was like, that's not going to work for me. I said, I work at the school, and I can't just leave every week just to bring her here for speech. So I said, if you can't work with our schedule, I'll have to find somewhere else, for her to continue with her speech. Because, I can't be leaving every week early, especially 12 o'clock one day and 1:30 the next. No, like I'm working. Like I said, I'm sure someone else's job, they wouldn't allow them to leave each week at those times. So I don't know how. They said, well, we'll keep this in your, we'll keep this and let your therapist know that, it's mandatory that you need a time. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but I do know that the one at school, I had been emailing her to ask, about Willow doing it at school, because that would be more, it would work with her schedule, because she'd be at school, the therapist would be there, pull her out for 30 minutes to work with her. I mean, it's not like she would be missing like a whole bunch of stuff, and if she, because there's no way I can leave, school for 2 days, earlier. So I don't know. So I told them, about my insurance right now. They only allow 60 sessions for a year, but depending on like the reports that are sent in at 6 months, to let them know how she's doing, sometimes they will approve more. And then I also asked them about, okay, if the insurance doesn't approve after the 60 sessions, like how much does it cost, just do private pay. And so they let me know, which I mean, it's doable, but, if I can get more sessions from my insurance, I would really want them to do that, so I wouldn't have to pay anything out of my own money. So I don't know. So we're trying to see what's going to work, so that she can continue to get her therapy for speech. She's actually doing pretty good. Every time I've taken her, the therapist said she's doing really good. She's following directions. And so, as of this month, the 22nd, she will actually have had her ear tubes in for 3 months. So, we've already seen some improvement with behavior and with her saying, new words. So the therapist, her speech therapist that she sees like right now says that, you know, it can take up to 3 to 6 months, and that she's pretty much almost a year and a few months behind just from missing all those sounds from when she had all the fluid in her ear. So we're just kind of trying to get her caught up, and it just takes time. Touch up these areas down here. And really, if we could get her in with the one at school, that would really work out best, because I feel like after school, you know, she's going to be ready for a nap from, you know, going and doing and learning all morning till the afternoon. So I don't know, we'll see how it all plays out, and hopefully it'll work out for the best. So would be easier wouldn't have to be that many coats of paint since it was already painted white. But it's really soaking in this paint. I guess I'll go ahead and paint this side just because I got some on there, and I think it'll probably look better. I'm not going to paint this part down here, but just this little ledge here. That way it just gives it a nice finish all around. She's been wanting to go outside every day to play on her swing set, but it's just been too hot. And that, like, I don't know if you guys heard me before, when I was doing a live, the slide part gets so hot that you can't even like touch it. It's so hot. So when we do go out, we usually wait till after the sun's not shining on the swing set area, just because that slide part is so hot. But it's just been too hot to do anything outside. I've been having to check on my little rabbits because they're in the shade, but still I've noticed they usually lay together, all of them. They usually lay and snuggle up with each other, but I've seen all 3 of them in a corner laying, you know, sprawled out, you know, away from each other, because that's how, you know, it's just too hot to be snuggling together. So and with bunnies, you can't change their temperature quickly like that, because it can make them die. They can have a heart attack. So you have to keep their water at the same temperature, you know, that they're adjusted to. So you can't like add ice to it. You can't change it at all. You can have like a fan blowing in the cage, you know, but nothing to where it's going to change the temperature drastically. So, because they get adjusted to a certain temp. Same in winter, you have to be careful. And like with them, like if they get really, really scared, if something scares them, they can have a heart attack too. So, they've just been sprawled out in their cage, just keeping cool. The only time I ever bring them in is if it's really, really cold, like when the temperatures get down like the teens, then I bring them in for a few days. But they really like staying out in their little cage. They've got a big, like they have a big cage. All right, so now that I got this painted the green, we're going to put, let me go get my water so I can rinse my brush out. I'm going to get this dried too better. Willow, what in the world do you have? Give me that. Oh my gosh, Willow. Water here, and we're gonna give this a try. Just catch up. Oh, good morning, Dagny Hollis Designs by Amy. Hello, Vintage Grace Decor. Hello, Stacy. Cultivating Keepsakes. Hello, Eden. You're up after me. Good morning, Donis. Good morning, Deanna. Okay. Alrighty. So let me get this dried really good here. So I'm going to get him his face, his hair rather, not his face. We're going to get his hair done. So I'm going to use that black that I got from. And this top part is actually going to be black. It's going to match his hair. So I'm going to what with you? A little smaller brush just to do the parts of his hair. Sorry, good old Frankenstein here. bigger brush to fill it in. Alrighty, let me go down further here. So, has anybody started on their fall crafts, or are you doing Christmas in July? I know there's some events right now for Christmas. All right, so let me get the rest of his hair here. Just gonna go down. Okay, I'm gonna fill this in with our bigger one here. He's gonna be cute. He already looks cute with just the hair. Let me get the smaller one here. I think I'm gonna just touch up the sides to make them black just where the hair is. Let me just go right here and just touch up. Y'all, can y'all hear Lola, my pug? She's right here in the floor. Can you guys hear her snoring? She's like snoring so loud. We used to let her sleep with us, but because she snores so loud, like she keeps you up. Okay, let me turn it back this way. All right, so we're gonna get this dried real quick, just so I don't smear it working with it. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far with our little hair. Yeah, that's what I was telling my friend Tish, that I said, I just can't do Christmas in July. For one thing, it's so hot. And another thing, it's just I'm not ready yet. Like, I get ready to put out my Christmas the day after Halloween. Like, Halloween, we'll say, is on a Friday. Saturday would be Christmas at my house. Like, I get everything out the day after. But yeah, I'm starting on the fall, and I just can't get into the Christmas spirit in the summertime. So, but I mean, a lot of people do, and that's fine. Like, but I just don't, I myself just can't do it. Okay, so now we're going to get his face put on. I do have a cute little bow to put on the top here, but we're gonna do that last because I don't wanna take a chance of the paint not being completely dry and then we make a big mess. I'm gonna use my little paint markers here to do the eyes because I feel like that's easier to do. Let me get a picture of we're gonna do 2 little eyes here. And I'm gonna fill these in with actual paint. I think that'll be easier. I think, anyways. I'm just using the chalk paint here. It's just the Waverly. When we took Willow into I was going to tell you about the aquarium, because she loves looking at fish, and we went to the riverside first to see the river fish, and they have these big tanks, and they have a ledge where you can stand on, like, for the little kids to stand up so they could look, and there were some, I don't know what they were called. I didn't really pay attention to like the names of the fish, but there was some fish that were bigger than her, and they would come swimming up to the tank, to the, you know, close to where she was, and she would get really nervous and scared. And then one time she even cried a little bit because they just kind of just swim up towards the tank window and or the glass, and they're pretty big fish, but they were bigger than her, and I guess she was thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna get me, but she didn't really like the big fish, especially when they would swim up close to the window part of it. But we saw the alligators and the turtles, which I can't believe the alligators don't want to eat the turtles. Like, they're in the same tank together. But I guess because they have that hard shell, maybe that's why. But they're all in there together. There's some pretty big turtles. And then there was the alligators. I guess I would say they were probably 4 foot. They weren't very big ones. But they were in there together. Now the ocean side of the aquarium, even with the bigger fish, especially the sharks, she didn't really mind those. And then she loves watching Dory and Nemo. And there's a thing on Disney where it has a thing where you put on and you can watch the fish swim back and forth. the fish that were in Finding Nemo, and I showed her the real Dory because they had her, that type of fish, in a tank with a bunch of different other saltwater fish. And then they had one tank with just all the clownfish, and I said, look, here's Nemo. And so she really like looked a long time at those tanks. But there was this little puffer fish in one of the tanks, and she was standing on the ledge, and every time she would walk from one side to the next, it was almost like it was following her. And I made a little video of it, but she would turn around and look, and I was like, oh, here it comes. And then she would start laughing. But it was almost like it was, you know, following her wherever she was walking. They had this cool little statue too that they had made out of all of the trash and stuff that came out of the ocean, and they made a big giant seahorse with it. It was pretty cool. Out of all the trash. Then they had this wall when you walked in one section that showed all the trash that's collected like in the ocean, and they had it all stuck up on this little wall that they had used as a display for it. All right, I'm gonna get these eyes dry. Spongy thing to do the eyes with. All right, we're gonna let those dry really good while we continue to do the rest of his face. Where's my black? Oh, I forgot to get my pink. I think I'm gonna get my little spongy for my pink, the pink little cheeks, because that should work for the little cheeks. Do the little cheeks first. My marker. All right, so there's the little mouth, and then I'm gonna do his little stitching. Then one down here. And then again, I'm gonna let this white, let's see, is it good and dry? this dry really good. All right, so this is what he's looking like so far. There's his face. I'll get these eyes dried really good before I add the white and then the white around the to do our here. Now what I'm doing right now is just some highlighting of some white. Through the so let me get this dry, then we'll get the bow ready. Alright, so there's the face so far. So there's our little cute little face. And now we're going to get that bow put on at the top. So let me get these all put in here to wash out. Okay, I'm going to set this over to the side. You know what, I'm gonna go grab my bow maker. That's what I forgot to bring in here. And turn my glue gun on. Alright, I'm gonna take one of my pipe cleaners as our holder. And I'm gonna turn this way for a minute. And I've got all of these got these scrap pieces. These were Dollar Tree. Let's see, I want to do this. These were Dollar Tree pieces from last year that I just had left over. We'll do it like this first and see how it looks. I got another one here that we'll do this way. And we can cut off what we don't need. Like this side's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Really trying to make the same little loops here. All right, and then I have some fabric pieces. I thought we could incorporate it in here. Let me cut this. This was part of the end of the okay. And like I said, we can trim off what we don't need. I have two of these. This one off. All right, and then I have some pipe cleaners that I wanted to use in here. What time is it? Okay, I've got perfect time. And then I have some little foam bones that was left over from the Dollar Tree as well. All these little pipe cleaners I got last year from Dollar Tree too. Because I did all my fake bake little treats, and I used some of this stuff in that. So, okay. All right, so now we're gonna pull this up and tie it really tight to hold all of our little goodies here in place. And then we'll get these. There we go. And I'm going to use this as my little tie off to go around the back of our thing here. And then I'm going to trim off what I don't need here in just a second. I'll probably just do like a little, oh no, did my battery die? I may not even need the battery really. I mean the glue gun, if I can just get this to tie here. All right, turn it around this way so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, yeah, I don't even think I may not even need the Well, I may need it to glue my little bones on, but I think I can use my tacky glue in there. All right, so I'm gonna straighten this up and get this all situated on here. Kind of work with it here to get it to lift the bow up here. Where's my other one? And pull that around. These, and I will, did I even heat up any? Of course, my glue gun has to be, let me get a little bit of glue and I'll put that down in there. Just stick some of our glue on the back of this, just a little bit. The stopper of the thing is all clogged. We'll just use my finger for now. Stick this one right here, but we'll use our little things just to hold it for right now while it sits up. I got a little stringy. Let me pull my little stringy out. Oh, I got to do it there. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, and then my little flower, which I'll have to use my hot glue for this, but I'm just gonna stick this in there just for you all to see for right now, since we can't use the glue. But we'll stick the one with the little eyeball right in here. And then maybe one underneath. And these, they just put these out. This is what I picked up yesterday. They had these little eyeball flowers out. Let's see, y'all want it like this or? Yeah, that looks cute. Alrighty. And then I'll get those glued in once once my battery charges back up. I couldn't even find my other battery this morning, so I have no idea where the other one is, but there we go. So there's our cute little Frankenstein Frankenstein. See the little eyeball flowers sticking out there? But this is our cute Frankenstein. He turned out very cute. He's a little cookbook holder is what I used. So now he's all ready to sit out for Halloween. So he turned out super cute. And thank you all for the hearts and the likes. I really like how he turned out. And he's all set. So thank you all for watching me this morning. Cultivating Keepsake is up next. So you'll want to catch her. And I'll pop on and out through, probably catch some of you guys on the replay because I've got to take Willow today for her speech. I always have something going on during the day. But thank you all. He did turn out cute. I'll post a picture of him later. I'm gonna put my battery on charge. And I will catch you guys later. But thanks again for jumping on. So here's little Frankie. We'll call him Frankie, Frankenstein. So he's all set for Halloween. I should say he. Here's my little frog. I thought he's more of like a. I thought here's our little frog to sit with him. But I've got my other frog I made that I made this one. But my other frog, I'm going to set this one with it. But there's our little frog I did. But okay, I will catch you guys later. Have a great rest of the event. I'm going to finish up cleaning this up. And I will take a picture of him later. And I'll get all those things glued on him. But thanks again. And I will see you guys later.